Dante from Syracuse, New York. Do you feel there are similarities between Austin Bret from Survivor Series 96 and Punk Triple H from 2011? Everyone always says that Triple H buried Punk, but I disagree. Just 2 months later, Punk started the longest WWE Championship reign of the last 25 years, including big matches against The Rock, John Cena, and The Undertaker. Austin lost to Bret, and he didn't turn out too bad himself. When looking at what followed for both Punk and Austin, do you truly believe they were buried? Again, with that word, let's tone it down with the use of the word buried. Nobody ever said that Austin was buried because he lost to Bret Hart. I don't even remember saying Punk was buried by Triple H in that one match. You know, maybe you're thinking of somebody else. I would not have used those words, especially on the Austin Bret stuff. I think that's completely foolish. Like in the Punk Triple H match, it took 3 pedigrees to beat Punk. The fact is, though, Punk never should have lost that match in the first place. It still pisses me off to this day just thinking about it. And I'm so happy that Punk shoved that in Hunter's face right before he walked out. The only similarity I can think of is the fact that, as you said, Austin lost and he went on to big things. Punk lost and he ended up winning the title a few months later. With Punk, one had nothing to do with the other. I give Triple H zero credit in having anything to do with Punk's success or with Punk winning the championship from Alberto at Survivor Series that year. Zero. None. Zilch. With Austin, you cannot overstate the impact that feud with Bret Hart had on his career, even though he lost both matches, the one at Survivor Series and the one at WrestleMania. Austin was on the rise, but he was nowhere near being a main eventer in WWE when he first started calling out Bret Hart in 1996. That was something they built up for months before Bret finally came back, right? He hadn't been seen since the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels. He was away for months. And later that year is when Austin started calling out Bret on TV, right? I remember that famous promo at one of the pay-per-views. He said, if you put the letter S in front of the word Hitman, you got my exact thoughts of Bret Hart. And he would talk trash over and over and over again until Bret finally resurfaced. And they teased whether Bret was going to stay or go. And Bret said, I'm WWE for life, which is funny to look back on that now. And he said, I'm coming back to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series. And that was a huge match. That was huge for Austin. But it was a story that built up over the course of many months. Just the feud with Bret, it was designed to elevate Austin to that next level in the eyes of the fans, and it worked. And the double turn a few months later just clinched the whole thing. With Triple H, Punk was already the hottest star in the company. Punk was the hottest thing in all of wrestling in the summer of 2011. When that match with Triple H happened, he was already way up here. He didn't need any help. John Cena had way more to do with helping Punk than Triple H did. Way more. Way more. And I don't care how much of a John Cena hater you are, you're blind and ignorant if you don't admit that. He had way more to do with Punk getting over and having all that success just by virtue of putting him over in that match at Money in the Bank and then again at SummerSlam than anything Triple H did for that guy. 3 jackknife powerbombs on television from Kevin Nash, all of which went unanswered. And then Nash disappears, and then Triple H comes out of retirement, beats Punk. And then, for good measure, Triple H beats his old buddy Nash when Nash is suddenly well enough to come back a few months later. In a ladder match, no less. What a rib that was on Nash.